Hello everybody. I guess it's been quite some time since the last I've made any kind of like podcasting or voiceover or some kind of, like that. But nevertheless, the year is 2020. It's March. What today is it? Today is March 22nd, Sunday. As a matter of fact, I just find that I'm still home on the Sunday with all the ongoing COVID situation. So, I just might take this opportunity to do some, podcasting. All right. But nevertheless, welcome. This is My Spectant. So basically for the year 2020, right? Personally, I feel that it has been a roller coaster ride so far, to be honest, since January, and up until March, like up until today. We've been thrashed and thrown into many directions. Tested against time, mentally, physically, right? But, despite all that, everybody's moral is quite good and positive. I think that's really counts. But what I really wanted to focus today is about how we are, not how we are, but how the society as a whole is actually, how do you call this? How the society is basically evolving into something that's more mature, more sustained to cope with the ongoing situation, which is, COVID-19, that is. So, for my Spectant today, I like to cover a few key points, key topics that I really want to address on is, firstly, foremost is, what's really trending right now is about having a working from home scheme or like a WFH model for many leading corporates or offices in around the world. I think, so I've been working from home roughly around like since Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. So that's like roughly around 3-4 days already. To be honest, working from home is actually quite interesting because normally I do work from home some time to time, but it's only like around like 3 hours, 4 hours at night. But then here we are basically myself. I'm just basically sitting at my table in my own room and, just working it throughout the whole day, as a normal office hour. But then, there's this, I'm not saying it's a bad or a good thing. I'm just saying that, the thin line between private space and public space kind of sort of minimizes and sort of just embodies it together into one whole single sphere, which is between a public and a private sphere that's joined together. So what it basically means is, like, for example, like on Thursday, right? I had like 3 meetings back to back. Normally in the office, it would probably be something like two meetings back to back, and then like maybe like 30 minutes break, and then after the 30 minutes break, you attend the third meeting, right? But then here, when you're at home, you're basically like, all right, meeting 1 finish. I'm just gonna pause a little bit. I'm gonna go to the toilet, grab something quick to drink, water and whatnot, or maybe a little light snack, and then like, for example, on the second meeting or the third meeting, you sort of like, sneak out the meeting a little bit by going to the kitchen, grab a sandwich and whatnot, and just bring it back to the table. But then you're still in the meeting, It's kind of funny in a way, as in like, well, you could you could still remain professional, but then at the same time, your home self, if you know what I mean, your home mode kind of kicks in from time to time. It's like, wait, I'm at home, but I'm still working. Okay, what should I be doing, or how should I concentrate? It differs from people to people, but I think in a nutshell, working from home, given this current situation with the COVID-19, I think it's really beneficial to all employees and employers. Why? I think it's really beneficial because, one, you could be with your family or be with the one that you love. 2 is that you would be able to find the time to harness or sharpen your skills where you will not be able to do before. What I mean is, like, basically when you present in the office, right, you tend to be really, really focused about what you're doing. But now when you're at home, you're like, okay, I'm done with meeting. What should I be doing? Maybe I should go study Google Analytics. Maybe I should go study about, Facebook pixels, or maybe I should study about this and that, or this and that, because you actually have the time to learn more new things because you're not commuting to the office anyway. You're at office. You're at home office basically, So basically you have more time on, you don't have to commute. Like for example, myself, I tend to commute like an hour a day from home to office and office to home. So, that 2 hours per day, you save a lot of time and you could be learning a lot of new stuff and new skills. And, by all means, when the COVID-19 subsides and when everybody is cured, I think, we will see different new set skills from your friends and your colleagues from this. Sorry about that. Just need a little water. So, having said that with the work from office, right? Another thing that I've really sort of seen or noticed is about being digitalized. I think everybody understands when I say digitalized, as in being a digital society, like completely being digitalized. Because now with all the healthcare and then the health concerns of individuals, you tend to, not tend to basically, you basically jump and depend on these various digital products, services, or experiences. What I mean is basically e-commerce, AR, VR, podcasting, YouTube, Netflix, Zoom, Cisco, Microsoft Teams, Jira, anything that has to do with digital. Oh, internet banking, for example, FaceTime, Skype, you name it. Everything that's related to digital is basically being upheaved and emphasized as being very golden, very precious right now. Because you can't really go out and meet people due to the social distancing and being socially responsible, right? But at the same time, we humans are a social animal, a social being, that is. So we tend to sort of try to find some way to stay connected in one way or the other. Maybe through line, chat, WhatsApp, or basically through normal telephone call or video calling or whatnot, anything that you can basically stay connected in one way or the other. But nevertheless, coming back to being a digital, I think the current situation really, really pushes the society, whether it's the supplier or the demands of the public, to adopt these digital products at a very fast pace. Like for example, e-commerce, from a observation on the street level, you could see how much Grab services have increased, or how many Food Panda drivers have increased in the last week or two. Like for example, I've read or heard from the social, I think, about like how 7-Eleven and CPL is like, having these vacancies for like around 2,000 deliveries personnel. So what does that mean? It just basically means that the e-commerce is booming, sprouting really, really hard. So, whether it's like Food Panda, Grab, Lineman, okay, so now we have like, what do you call it? The CPL, right? 7-Eleven, you name it, E-commerce is coming and it will E-commerce has already came and it will force people to change. For example, like, I've seen a few senior friends of mine who somewhat sort of have second thoughts about purchasing stuff from e-commerce. But then with all this ongoing, they just snap and adopt using e-commerce, using Lazada, using Shopee, or using any other e-commerce platforms or businesses that has e-commerce deliverables. And they just order like, hey, I'm actually used to e-commerce, and that's something that we all should take into consideration about how the society is moving to. Not how the society is moving to, but which direction the society is moving to actually, and that is being digitalized. Another thing that I really want to sort of highlight is, let me go through some of the notes a little bit here. So the positive side of having a COVID-19 is definitely about being natural recovering, right? So like you could see, like, for example, some of the pictures that we see are from the social, like whether it's like the Vatican's Venice, or like in some of the Italy's area, or in Germany, or in America, or in Asia, or in Japan, somewhere, wherever, you will find that some of the pollutions have actually dropped down a little bit. And because that's due to the decrease of the human activities, whether it's the carbon footprint or whether it's whatever we humans normally do on a daily basis, we basically drop it down and then we stay home. And on a side note, the world is somewhat like healing, right? So I'm not sure if it's a natural selection or not, but I don't want to touch on that issue for the time being. But I just feel that the earth is healing itself. It's one of its defense mechanism that says, hey, you know what, I think it's time to heal myself a little bit, so let's do a little bit of reordering of the planet a little bit through COVID-19. But I'm just saying what I think it is. I'm not saying it's the correct one or anything, but but if you feel, please feel free to comment as well. So I just want to know what you guys think as well. Let's see. Last but not least, right. I probably don't really want to cap it off in this kind of genre, but like for example, during my bachelor year, I kind of came across this theory where, like, when the society reaches its pinnacle, right, there's always something that sort of brings it down. Like, for example, in Rome, if my memory serves me right, Rome reached its pinnacle to a certain point, obviously, and then somehow or somewhere or somewhat sort of said, hey, you know what, Rome's at its pinnacle right now. Let's sort of reset the balance a little bit. Let's reset the society a little bit and start from scratch, or start from the bottom a little bit. And then that's where plagues come in, or that's when the rodents or the health was really bad in Rome, in the Roman Empire, and that's when things fall down. Or like, for example, the hamburger crisis, the Tom Yum Goong crisis, it's like when the society almost reaches its pinnacles, or has reached its pinnacles, there is always this mechanism, a natural mechanism, if I can say it correctly, just sort of defaults it back to its originality, or to its original, sorry. And then, people will tend to recruit from that, start from scratch, build from that base onwards. And I don't know, I mean, it may sound a little bit dark or somehow, but I just feel on my own context, right? COVID-19 is one, definitely a reset of orders of many things. It's about moving society as a whole into the forward gear. Like, for example, digitalization of the economy, right? And I don't know, I just feel it's a nature's thing that says, you know what, before we move on, I think this is the best thing that should happen, and that is to reorganize the society as a whole. Yep. I don't know, I guess that's all I have for this session, I guess, for this EP. By all means, please feel free to like and share, or as well criticize and comment. I'm more than happy, because I'm just basically sharing what I have on my mind at the moment. So, it was really glad to see you guys, hear from you guys at the same time, and and looking forward to see you soon, and see you guys in the next episode. All right, cheers. I'm leaving all